Thanks for inviting us in on this Friday night. You know, we've seen countless families struggling to make ends meet during this pandemic. The eviction moratorium is now ending, and now we've got thousands of Hoosier renters and their landlords trying to figure out how to stay afloat. So tonight, we want to break down the numbers to see how widespread this issue really is. We're also going to check on a program now expanding to help Indianapolis residents stay in their homes. But first, our Lauren Kostick offers some insight into a statewide effort to prevent evictions in the early stages.
Inside eviction court, dockets continue to be jam-packed with filings.
For instance, some of the 9 a.m. dockets don't actually now conclude until about 3 p.m. Just because of how many cases there are.
Brandon Beeler with Indiana Legal Services advocates for tenants in Marion County. He says there's still a disconnect between tenants and resources. On top of that, the system is overwhelmed.
And what I'm seeing on the ground that we're really hoping to see some progress here in the next few weeks is that timing between getting the rental assistance out and the possession hearing.
To help, Indiana Supreme Court is ordering a pre-eviction diversion program for courts to distribute funds quicker, a recommendation from the state's newly formed eviction task force.
To offer the parties the opportunity to pause the hearing, stop the hearing, and to attempt to go through the program.
That means courts like this one here in Lawrence Township will need to let tenants and landlords know during that first hearing of programs and assistance available to them, including a free settlement conference. And if tenants participate, they could have their case sealed.
Tenants who were impacted by the pandemic beyond their control, it shouldn't be something that haunts them forever.
During the pandemic, Indiana received about $371 million in rental assistance and issued about $207 million of that to about 22,000 families. And even though the money is moving, some advocates worry it won't move fast enough.
I do get concerned that in a month, if cases have been continued out that long, what's going to happen if the assistance isn't quite there yet.
The task force plans to review the program in the next few months and issue a final report come January.
Right now, estimates show roughly 85,000 Hoosier households are behind on rent and face eviction. Almost 60% have not applied for rental assistance. Only 16% actually got money to help. It's a huge issue facing families and landlords across the state since the beginning of this pandemic. Numbers show more than 65,000 evictions were filed here in Indiana since the start of the pandemic. And in the last 4 weeks, Indianapolis alone saw about 1,600 eviction filings. Judges in charge of these cases say they're very aware of the widespread impact these cases can have on a family.
I want to make sure that my community is stable. I want that child that may be subject to an eviction when a parent comes to court, that they're continuing to go to school and they can remain in the township. It's not just the parent that's getting evicted, it's a whole family.
If you live in Marion County, you can sign up for extra rental assistance. Before today, you could only receive 3 months of aid at a time through IndyRent, but now they're offering 12 months. Anyone currently receiving rental assistance can apply for an extension. IndyRent will send you a notification with details on the next steps you need to take. If you're not already signed up for rental help, you can do so online. We have all the details on the WTHR app, along with a handful of other resources for people living outside Marion County. And that wraps up tonight's big story.